Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I thought the comment on varsity.
Run Ryan.
Ryan.
And here's the thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas were taking more serious.
No way. What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United. You know, Olia, the way how this season going is almost as though every week is an international break, because the space between games, it's so long, boy. It almost feels like as every time we come back here is after international break. And I think we have one long break still to come, 13 days, 12 days. And then we have a very, very long break coming just now after the international break. I think so. Like we are about 3 weeks. Say what? Earlier we back to winning ways. Massive 3 points, and after the little scare versus Newcastle last match day, I think Michael Carrick continues to impress. Well, as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean, because we're still in third, and this time we have a little bit of breathing space, and I mean, when you look at everything, not a bad weekend at all, Chelsea lost, City dropped more points, Liverpool dropped points versus Spurs, I believe that. And we beat Villa.
When that game play? That game play today too?
What game? Which one is that?
Oh yeah, but the Liverpool game. Oh
yeah, we win that game. I mean, Liverpool was supposed to win that game, but they play with the food. And Spurs come and get something in
nice. Nice.
So to beat Villa, I guess the icing on the cake for the weekend would have be Arsenal dropping points too. But say what? I mean, we 3 points clear of Villa in fourth, 5 points clear Liverpool in fifth, 6 points clear Chelsea in sixth. 8 games to go with an improving goal difference on plus 13. I continue to say we destiny in the own hands, fellas. You understand? So anyway, what we saying? And let me get into it. Phil, what we saying?
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Middle of March break. But this weekend, as you mentioned, was a pretty good weekend. We saw what other teams did around us on the Saturday. And today, I think, I don't want to say we almost cemented third place, but I'm confident that we can keep this third place because the pressure was now on us after losing to Newcastle. And then, lo and behold, we came today. And I enjoyed it. So there were some standout players today. There are one or two that I have questions about. But lo and behold, this is the business end of the season, right? Results is what matters right now. Performance to some extent, but performance more matters maybe in the first half of the season, right? It all depends on how you perform in the first half of the season to where you'll finish possibly in the next half of the season. So, 3 points, 3 goals.
Yeah. Nico, what are you saying?
Yeah, good night, man. Long time I haven't been on the live. It's always good to be on the live. Let's just share some insights on the game. Again, as you said, Carrick continues to defy the odds, right? All the detractors. I think he continues to show, and I guess it backed, especially today. I think the performance as well was good. So it wasn't a scrappy performance for me today. I think we were a threat more or less throughout the game. I think we controlled majority of the game as well, which again from before we wasn't able to do that. Against as much as you might say Villa has been out of form, these teams has normally be fired up when they're playing United at Old Trafford, and we extinguished those flames today. Wherever fire they come with, we extinguish it early. I think we could have even scored more goals. I think Dallo had a couple chances that we could have really extend the lead today. But all in all, I think Carrick continues to show his worth, as a Premier League manager, right? Whoever that be, I think he has shown his worth as a Premier League manager, being unbeaten, even at Old Trafford, and just losing, against Newcastle. Yes, I know the pressure would have been on Carrick and the team to perform today, and I think they did that. I guess with the lack of games, as you spoke about, and the consistency with the team now, I think the stress levels naturally are a bit lower, right? I guess that would be welcoming for some. Some maybe want a little more stress in their life, right? But I guess others might enjoy, not being as stressed as we were for the last few years, yeah. So again, good performance overall today, good win, and we continue to, move up the table, create breathing space. And I think, as you would have said, destiny is in our own hands, to be back in the Champions League places. So I think if we get that, I think Carrick would definitely have a big say in what happens at the end of the season in terms of management.
Yeah, you're touching on a lot there, Nico, right? So I want to go in a little more because I know we haven't had you on for a bit, so I want to get some of your thoughts on some things that we may have discussed on. And I mean, with more games, it will give more perspective to those of us that here. Now, I don't know if Kristen on the inside, but I'll just see an Old Trafford. I don't know if he there or what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had to see, right?
Yeah.
So, the revisionism, Nico, after, and Phil, you could come in after, right? The revisionism after that Newcastle loss was loud. You was hearing the things like, tell all about these players. They're reverting to type. Carrick not good enough. And given all that, the team did since Carrick took over, do you think that the loss versus Newcastle, did it have you doubting the team's ability to win today? Unmute, Nico.
Yeah, let me get the comments and then I'll comment after that.
Mickey on the inside, blessed night to you, man. Thanks for joining. All right. Everson on the inside, good night to you. Thanks for joining, man. Glory, Man United is saying here. Bruno for player of the season. All right. To think it have much to disagree with you there, bro. All right. And then Darian on the inside as well. Good night. Thanks for joining me. I say Cass need to stay for one more season. If we make UCL, we need that experience around. And we're gonna talk about that because I had it on the agenda this evening. All right. So it seems as though people peeping my agenda this evening, but that's good. We're on the same wavelength, Nico, before you answer, Kristen, your video looking a little bit kind of.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, have I?
Right, so I don't know if you want to jump out and come back in. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Simeon on the inside, thanks for joining me. You saying Nico sound like a different man, like Carrick take away the stress.
Yeah, I telling you.
Yeah, man. So go through.
Yeah. So at some point the loss that had to come, right? At some point the loss that had to come, and the key to me would have always been how we bounce back, how we perform today. And so, as much as that loss would have been a moment to question yourself in terms of, I wonder if Carrick is really the man. The performances haven't been as what was when we played Man City, Arsenal, and maybe the games after that, maybe even Spurs, which we totally dominate Spurs, even if they had a man down. I think the key would have always been to me. So I wasn't worried because again, as much as we know Carrick is interim, it's I think he still don't have a lot of pressure on him, and I could be wrong, right? Because he still had the blanket of, well, I was just an interim, I tried my best with what I was dealt with, and I saw that if it is at Carrick, is to get this job. The key would be how the team performs today. So I wasn't panicking in terms of God, we make a mistake in playing Carrick. We should have gone for somebody else. It was always all right. The loss had to come at some point, and it happened all right. It was unfortunate against 10 men, right? But the thing for me is how we bounce back. And to me, how we bounce back today shows me that even if he's still not the man, but for me, if they give him the contract, we say we end the season second, third, maybe fourth, close to third, anywhere around there. I would say he deserve a chance. I would say he deserve a chance. However, it's a real toss-up because let me say Louis Enrique available, would you not, and let me say you want to come United, would you not go for Louis Enrique and keep Carrick and allow Enrique maybe to go to somebody else? To me, that might be the only decision, the only tough decision. But if Carrick does the job and get us there, I think he deserves the chance.
All right. No problems, no problems. So we and I want to get into that as well. So I like the direction, we going. Phil, the first question I had posed to Nico, it had a lot of revisionism after the loss. Did that have you, because a lot of people say they were seeing the signs of how the team was playing and it was just a matter. And I mean, as Nico alluded to as well, the loss was inevitable. So keeping that in mind, but people were saying that, they were seeing flaws in how Carrick setting up, some of his selection. It had some issues with that. Did it have you, that loss, after that Newcastle loss, did it have you doubting the team's ability to win today?
Not really, because two things. It seems in the last couple of weeks, and this Aston Villa, it seems Aston Villa are going to put all their eggs in one basket called the Europa League. It seems that way. I think they are going to go for a European trophy and be thereabouts for the Champions League, right? So I think Aston Villa is willing to take maybe a couple of losses, but still back them up with a little bit of wins here and there until the end of the season. But once they put their best foot in the Europa League, and obviously the winner of Europa League going to get the Champions League spot, right? Was the loss inevitable? Yes, but I did not see us losing to 10 men Newcastle. I didn't, right? If this loss had happened, let's just say versus Liverpool, okay, sure, whatever. Right? Let's say that loss had happened versus Liverpool. I could have taken that. But the loss versus 10 men Newcastle, I is almost similar to us losing to 10-man Everton at Old Trafford, right? I wasn't too worried. I know that Michael Carrick would have given them some sort of talking to, right? I know they had 10 days to sit on that loss, and I know each day that went by felt long. Why? Because just like us, they're watching all the Premier League teams in the Champions League play. And that's where they want to be come next season, right? So that 10 days that they sat on that loss felt like 20, 30, 40 days, right? Now, they know, we as fans know that the goal right now, obviously, there's no silverware that we're hunting for, but that Champions League spot is definitely up for grabs, right? Every single game from now to the end of the season is kind of like a final, right? I wasn't too worried. If it was under the previous manager, I'd be like, okay, well, you get one more loss, then another loss, then another loss, then we'll take the lead in one game, and then we'll get a draw. So yeah, I wasn't too worried. Michael Carrick has been through this here. Michael Carrick played under the best manager in the world, where you had a loss under Sir Alex Ferguson, guarantee he is going to put the fear of God into you on post-match, right? And lo and behold, Michael Carrick used that same experience when he was a player and just implemented it as a manager to the current players. And yeah, 3-1 was the final result as we saw today. So I wasn't too worried. But yeah.
Yeah. Kristen, all right, what was your thoughts on the point that the question on the floor? Go through.
Right. Well, to be honest, the loss to Newcastle with 10 men, that is kind of, how to say, it was difficult to take. However, I had a feeling with that bounce back because Aston Villa not in good form right now. And when the game started, they said Aston Villa, this is one pitch they don't really win in Old Trafford. So everything was in our favor. But I don't know if is we not playing how we play in one game a week. Or I think the team starting to show a lack of intensity because I find we were real horrible in the first half, the first 25 to 30 minutes. Real bad passes and stuff like that. And like in the second half, you see our changes basically. Like you're watching Ole
I'm gonna hold you to the true meaning of horrible. So, but go ahead.
No. I mean,
horrible is a
again,
real extreme term to use. But go
no,
through.
like okay, watching it like we was Aston Villa in the first 10 to 15 minutes, they had like 60% possession, but like whenever we was trying this kind of hero ball or we wasn't linking proper passes and thing, and you wasn't seeing that before. So I don't know if it's because of the we only play one game a week and then it was 10 days before we play again. But I would think we'd be more fresh and stuff like that. 'Cause like against Arsenal, against Man City, that was the first set of games on that character and it was really good now. So as I say, you actually see a difference in the second half. So as I say, on that Ole, it was like we also call Ole the second half manager because in the second half he also changed the game. But that is just my thoughts on it because against Newcastle, it was kind of difficult to lose to 10 men. So, but I think Carrick doing an amazing job so far because he utilizing the players he have and he getting the best out of them.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. You know, I was kind of nervy because it's like you don't know what would help the team. You know, before we used to say they need more rest. And as you say, Kristen, sometimes when they start a game after 10 days, you see in the lethargy in the way how they starting games. But then when they play the games every 3 days, you're actually noticing the fatigue. But then they're saying they need more games to find that kind of match rhythm because it's hard to have that match rhythm when you're playing every 10 days or every 5 days, you know, while everybody is playing within 3 days. You know, you have that kind of continuity, match rhythm, that kind of sharpness with playing games regular. So it had me kind of wondering, you know, which scenario suiting us best because you just don't know. You just don't know. You know, so I was a little bit concerned, you know, especially when you saw the results, you know, going in our favor. We hardly ever used to capitalize on them kind of things, you know. But I did have a sense of belief in the team. You know, as Phil saying, you had 10 days to sit down on that loss. You know, you had 10 days to sit down and watch other teams, you know, play football while they just had to be training, you know. And the routine of training, yes, it'll have fun, but it'll be boring because you want to play games. You know, and the guys know what the goal is, and they know they needed to create that space and that gap between Aston Villa and third place. So for me, it was the guys and them had to be laser focused on getting a result today. So while I was nervy, I kind of had the confidence that once we don't concede a stupid goal, we go win. You know, and that has been my position ever since Carrick took over. Once we don't concede, we'll win. You know, so I guess you know the win came and gave us, as Nico said, it gave us the confidence that, you know, the team headed in the right direction, and it's ours to lose. Let me just get two comments real quick.
So one thing I want to say,
Go ahead.
on what you were saying in terms of the games, what I've realized is that, similar to what Kristen was saying to the second half team, because we are so fresh in comparison to the other teams that play a little more regular, second half, as long as we keep the first half tight, the only team that didn't really work out on was Newcastle. There's a very good chance we would score in the second half. And there's a very good chance, especially when the game stretch and it bring on, let me say, Sesko. I think that is working for us because our players are more fresh. So on the counter, in second half of games, I think we have been doing very well. And I guess it's because of how fresh we are, you know, in comparison to the other teams.
No, but I just want to say, like, Newcastle is one of the fittest side. If you want that Newcastle side run, them just run whole game. Them fellas is real press and thing now. So at them going to 10 men, I was expecting us to win that game, but Newcastle they just didn't give up. But why I draw that point is because this side in the Champions League, boy, this Norwegian side, I don't know if the Bodo Glimt, they said them in play since the league finished in November, right? So they have no football. The only game they have is Champions League, right? But if you watch them in the Champions League, they're playing like what? They're playing real good, boy. And I don't know if it's because of the rest or what, but they're playing real good. They beat Man City. They beat.
But I always said it. I feel like the Champions League, if you put Bodo Glimt to play one Premier League game every week, them go catch the tail against team like West Ham. I just feel like the Champions League football, European football,
okay,
different
yeah,
things, you know?
yeah, well, true.
It's a greater demand on the physical in the Prem, you know? I mean, and it's not me saying that Premier League is the best, I know what I mean, you know? It's just more demanding on the physical. So I feel, you know, that same Bodo Glimt that playing one game a week and beating teams in the Champions League, you put them to play one game a week in the Prem, then go catch a tail against West Ham. I'm playing a low block. You understand? And one with Saka stretching his foot from here till Sando. You know, them kind of winner, you know? Everson saying here, once Luis Enrique is available, we must go for him. All right. I think it's Phil sent me some things stating that PSG want to renew him and it close. I can't remember. Somebody sent that for me. Darian saying here, more and more Amorim looking delusional. What was so hard to put men in their right position? Look how much Bruno excelled in the 10. Hope he breaks that Prem record. I think he do it already, ain't?
No, the Prem record is 20 on 16.
He break David Beckham on today.
Yeah, no, he break Manchester United record. Manchester United record was 15 with David Beckham.
Right. Okay. He done the okay. So right.
Yeah.
Right. Simeon saying here, when Villa score and the game open up, I got worried, but Bruno is a counter specialist. Midfield still a worry. All right. So we want to talk about this situation that Carrick found himself in. All right. Mbumo Kunia Ahmad or Sesko Kunia Mbumo. Right, he played the new signings bar Sesko for the first couple of games, and we were seeing some, you know, real nice football. We were seeing how it was working, but then Sesko started coming off the bench and doing well, you know, winning games for us. And then, you know, we saw Sesko start a couple of games. One against, I think, the Palace game, he started and he scored the winner. And then I can't remember which next game. Everton, was it the Everton game where he started? And I mean, you know, you're muted, Nico.
He started the Newcastle game? He started the Newcastle game?
He started in
yes,
he started in
I think the Crystal Palace and the Newcastle game, yeah.
Right. But you felt that, we were missing something. The team was lacking something. So Carrick kind of went back today. And I mean, what was your thoughts? Because you're going through the game, you're hearing people, you're talking in different spaces and you're hearing people talking about with Sesko, this is why we need Sesko because we were seeing crosses coming in the box. What was your thoughts on Carrick selection and what he is seeing in the Cunha, Mbumo, Amad versus the Sesko being in there instead?
Yeah. So what I would say is, I think he's seeing Sesko as a serious weapon off the bench because of his pace. As much as Ahmad, right? Let me say, because really and truly, especially with Dogu out of the team injured right now, most likely Cunha going to start on the left, right? The toss-up will be with Mbeumo or Ahmad and Sesko, or maybe Mbeumo and Sesko, right? That is also I guess a talking point for the future as well. But because of that pace Sesko have coming off the bench, I think he's a terror to any team in the Premier League. Because if you bring on Ahmad second half to be a threat like that, he's not going to be that threat. And Bremo maybe not either be that threat. So I think the weapon of Sesko coming off the bench right now is better than Sesko starting games. And I think the management team would have identified that, as a major weapon, because most of the time when it was done, Sesko coming off the bench, it worked. He scored. So changing it, and then again, then you do have that kind of weapon coming off the bench. I think it only makes sense, especially for now, to have Sesko coming off the bench. It have games where he could start, yes, but I think for now is more of a weapon bringing him off the bench.
I would have to say I think it's more of a rotation, as in he starts Sesko 2 games and Ahmad came on. He don't want to have like men upset on things, so he start Ahmad. Because when you look at in terms of the front three, I think Ahmad had the least effective game, and Mbemo was the one to come off. So I think he kept Ahmad because Ahmad didn't get much minutes in the last 2 games. That is why he ended up keeping on Ahmad. Because right after Mbemo come off, Cunha was on the ground cramping. But Cunha wasn't as bad because Ahmad decision making today wasn't top, because plenty time he could have passed and he shoot and all kind of thing. But I think it's down to minutes, trying to keep everybody happy.
So when
I agree with.
So you're saying it's more man management as opposed to tactical, as Nico saying, more tactical.
Yeah, because Nico right in terms of Sesko coming in with his pace and stuff like that, right? But like when you look at the game today, if Sesko start, we might have scored them 2 cross. Like if Darlow cross was a real good cross, Cunha cross was a real good cross. If Sesko there, I sure he was scoring them crosses. So I think it's more rotation than like tactical.
All right.
Because Sesko in form too. You have to play a man when he in form now. You can't have him on the bench. But I say he started 2 games, so he get Amara. That's my thinking.
All right. Phil, jump in now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're gonna Sesko. That's basically what he's been since Carrick took over. The guy comes on, the guy links up play really well, and I think he has is 7 goals in his last 8 or 9 games. I think that's it.
Yeah. He did score against Spurs and he didn't score against I think Newcastle.
Right. So yeah, so 7 goals in his last probably 9 games, right? Um, for as of right now, I don't mind Sesko coming on, and Sesko coming on is a better option than Ahmad coming on. But I don't think those two should be starting for us come next season. I think.
So,
Well, let me
so you don't think who should be starting for us next season?
both Sesko and Ahmad.
You don't think Sesko should be starting for United next season?
Well, let me put it this way: iron sharpens iron, right? So there has to be somewhere where because I'm still not on the Sesko bandwagon. That's where I am, right? I sent Reem a reel today from X or something that Sesko did. Bruno should have had 3 assists today. Should have.
No, I agree with that. He threw without chance. I don't know if he passed or he tried to
Exactly.
finesse.
Up to now, we don't know if that's a pass or a shot. If it's a
But
shot,
I think it is a shot
terrible.
because if it was a pass, it'd be more of a square pass because he don't outpace that defender. He looked tried. I think he tried a finesse and he just didn't get it off
Yeah,
because
but
no way.
he's trying to finesse from
That-
that distance. He could have carried the ball further.
Exactly, he outpaced the man already. But
And you're
that was
already
saying it was
ahead.
more of a shot because if you're squaring that ball, it wouldn't push it so far. You square it for the man just to tap in now. So I think that was a shot.
Yeah,
It was a
so
horrible shot.
in terms of Sesko starting for us next season, this current Sesko, no. If Sesko can be coached to, you see the pass from Bruno to Cunha for the goal today. I knew Cunha was gonna score. From the time Cunha opened up his body and carried the ball, I knew he was gonna score because I was already celebrating before Cunha put the ball in the back of the net. The way the guy just open up his body like that, that's something Sesko got to learn how to do, right? Whether he is coached by somebody on the obviously coaching staff, or even the likes of Cunha and Buemo who can teach him how to do that, right? But I'm still not on the Sesko wagon as yet, right? Now, if I had to choose,
Now, but if you look at him in the Bundesliga, he was pocketing that. He could finish.
That's not. But what I just want to get you to think about Phil. Remember, Sesko playing in the Prem. He's 22. Cunha is 26. Cunha proven he understands the league a little bit better. You know, so there are plenty of factors that you could kind of lend to decision making because even Cunha does make bad decisions. I mean,
for sure.
You know, so I mean, just keep that considered. You know, but go through.
I keep that in mind. Don't get me wrong, right? But I don't want to be in the podcast come next year, 2027. I'll be saying the exact same thing, right? I can only tell you how it is from what I'm seeing, with regards to, and even if you go back to the Spurs game, another assist that Bruno should have had. The guy could have controlled it, but he chose to head it, right? And there's nobody pressuring him, right? These are things that you must sit down with Sesko and show him a video of what he needs to improve on, right? So yeah, he's still young. He's not prem proven as yet, but the EPL teams are not as lenient as of before, right? You can look at the likes of Didier Drogba, who took quite a while to get his groove into the Premier League. You could look at the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo as well, who took about 2.5 to 3 seasons to get his groove into the Premier League, right? I don't think Premier Leagues are as lenient as of before, right? So let's see. Just answer the question.
But wait, Phil.
Phil, it answers there, right?
No, but let me tell you something. If you look at him in the Bundesliga, Sesko was hitting. He have great ball striking ability. He was shooting from a top of the box. And I haven't seen him do that. I see him probably do it like once or twice at United. It had a goal too where he hit with the keeper was like off the line and he hit that outside of the foot. And bend around the keeper and score. No, but as I said, I didn't see what he doing at the Bundesliga. Or like what he was doing there. I see he started doing that in the Premier, right? Where he's scoring is headers and stuff like that now. And he started score when Carrick took over. Well, he scored at Fletcher as well, but when you look at Carrick at Middlesbrough, this fella, I think it's Achapong or something, he wasn't that good of a striker. And on that Carrick, he scored 29 goals, in a season. And as I say, since Carrick take over, Sesko scoring, so I think we still have more to see from him.
But
Oh no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Like, I think if you unlock the potential of Sesko, because we Sesko, Cunha, and Mbumo, because we haven't seen the best of three of them. I'm more critical of Mbumo in the last couple of games than Sesko as well too. Cunha is a bit inconsistent, but Cunha is going to still give you that work rate. And Mbumo's going to give you that work rate as well too. Sesko going to give you that link up play as well. But those three, if you unlock their potential, I think we could have one of the best front threes if it's unlocked by whoever's the manager come next season, right? If it's Michael Carrick, kudos, right? What Sesko is doing in the Bundesliga is the reason we signed him. So that's that we would want to see that repeated in the EPL as well too, right? I haven't jumped on the Sesko bandwagon. I just haven't, right? This is not me saying I want him out. This is not me saying he should. This is me saying he needs a lot of improvement, right? And let me hear what you guys say, Nico. Sorry.
I know you must want to say something.
No, go through the go come on.
Well, yeah. No, so I was thinking, so you were saying that you're not seeing, I could be wrong, right? I just paraphrasing here.
Yeah, do you think?
Sesko starting for United next season. So I was just thinking, what other striker have out there that you think could come in at United next season? Other than maybe I just say Mbappe or Vicinius could come into United next season and really, light up our forward lineup. So I think we bringing in Sesko when we did was good. And I find he is doing okay. I think he is doing okay for, and building a platform for next season to see way much more of Sesko. So I just was thinking about which other striker I have out there right now that could really come in and take Sesko place next season. And I'm really struggling to find any.
Well, I'm not looking at another striker because we can easily keep the same front three of Mbumo, Cunha, Ahmad, because that's what's working right now for Carrick, right? But at the end of the day, what makes an average striker from a great striker is him taking his chances, right? So let's say in the next couple of games, Sesko does happen to score. Then Sesko has a reason to start. But then when Sesko starts, does Sesko keep his starting place? Does he assist? Does he link up play? Does he score? Right? What do you think Sesko was on the bench after the Newcastle game? Sesko didn't have that great of a performance. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens next season. Right? As I mentioned, Premier League teams, as of the last probably 10 years, aren't as lenient as before. Right? You got to hit the ground running from yesterday. Right? Now, this is not me as a fan saying I want Sesko to hit 40, 50 goals come next season. Right? But I must see some evidence where Sesko is testing the keeper. Sesko is not only testing the keeper, but also linking up play as well too. Sesko is making smart passes, and that's going to come over time, right? So let's see what happens in the next couple of games with Sesko coming off the bench. And if he does start, let me just also reiterate, this is not me against Sesko starting any games this season, right? If Sesko does happen to come on and score, if Sesko does happen to start and score, kudos to him. He will then be knocking on the door for a chance to start come next season, right? But you just have, and you guys know this, in today's football world, you can't just do your job, right? As a striker, if you score, cool. But if you're not scoring, you got to be doing something else as well, too, If you're a midfielder and you're not assisting, you got to be doing something else as well, too, If you're a centre-back and you're having an off day, there got to be something else you got to be doing as well, too, right? So as You gotta be you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be all round. When the best part of your game is not clicking, then other parts have to come into play as well too, right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let me just jump in.
It's something like them, the employers on them these days, way.
Nah,
Let me just jump in. Let me just jump in on this, right? Because this I think Phil, you end off on the point I was going to make as to why right now I am favoring the more fluid attack than having that focal point, right? I really think even though Mbumo not at the races or not at his best right now, I think it's about a lot of things that he does do that just go unnoticed, right? And I mean, we all know earlier playing that focal point, that main striker role at Man United is not the most how to play, but you don't be the most involved.
graveyard position.
It's a real graveyard kind of role. So the fact that and we saw it against Newcastle, there was a real disconnect between Sesko and the rest of the team, right? But when you see a play Mbumo or Cunha or Ahmad, because they are fluid and they do rotate, I think they help the team because those fellas able to drop into the midfield. So we are a lot more compact. We press differently. I think we press a little bit better. You understand, when them fellas there, the link up ability is a bit better. The fluidity is a bit better because Mbumo can end up on the right, Ahmad through the middle, Cunha on the left, and they can rotate a little bit. So it's a lot more work for defenders to do to know who to pick up and stuff like that. So I think the fluidity, the ability to move into pockets, to run in behind, because that quality I think Mbumo has that people don't recognize. He again, I'm saying he not at his best right now, but I think where the team at, and that need to be compact and connected, your midfield and your attack. I think we need those fellas, and and what makes it even better is the fact that when Sesko does come on, he adds a different element, something that is not on the pitch. Right, and that's something that could catch now defenders by surprise, because whole game they're running behind this one, they don't know who to pick up, and then after you get to see this speedy giant come on running at you, diving at balls, leaping over everybody. You understand? Them after your legs as a defender don't run down this one, run down that one to come and have to be jumping with Sesko or chasing Sesko when you pushing. Listen, that for me, there's a cheat we have, there's a cheat code we have on the bench. You understand that when we start, and I mean, I don't have a problem with, looking at a game and saying, well, okay, I think Sesko might be better suited to start this game. I'm not saying that we send him to the bench and, well, you're playing all the role. That's not what I'm saying. But for the most part, I think, having that fluid front three, which keeping us a lot more compact, whoever playing as the centre forward dropping into midfield and helping us, I think we're faring better with that. And we just touch on something earlier. I find sometimes we just treat these players as though them is a robot and they can't make mistakes, they can't try things and it don't work out. I've seen people coming on hard on Amar earlier. These players trying things. We want them to be free to express themselves, but yet when they make a bad pass, we criticizing it. And there's my thing. These players are human beings. When they do something out of the box and it come off, we clipping it up and it's on repeat. But if they do the same thing and they get cut out, we get angry, So I think we had to allow these fellas to make mistakes like that chance Sesko again. I think it was a finesse shot that went wrong. But look at imagine if that had score. Or look at imagine if that had score. That would have been a brilliant, that would be a beauty of a goal. You understand? So try it. We was already 3-1 up. If we was 1-1, out of course. You understand what I'm saying? But we were 3-1 up. Let the man try it. Let him find his length in the Premier League. Plenty of what Christian saying about what we used to do in the Bundesliga. The kind of space sometimes Sesko used to have in the Bundesliga, you're not going to get a space in the Premier League. So you had to adjust your game. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what the guy learning. So you had a game time to get length. And what we always used to say before, my last point, what we always used to say before, and this is one of the things that didn't help Hoyland. We bring in a new young striker and we put the full weight of goals on that man's shoulder. And when he wasn't scoring, he gets his head and, well, we see how that work out. I like the fact that the goal responsibility and everything is being placed on the proven players that we sign. And we are allowing Sesko to filter into the team. You understand? You come off the bench without no sort of pressure and you score. You come off the bench, you do something nice, you build your confidence. You build your trust within your teammates because after all, the team did not trust you. You understand? And we saw when that other manager was here, men wasn't even passing to Sesko. Sesko was fluffing the lines that game against Spurs. And men started to question Sesko. So what I'm saying now, he coming on, the pressure, the weight, and the full responsibility is not only on his shoulder. It's on the older guys, the Cunhas, the Mbumos, the Ahmad, the Bruno. They carrying the brunt. And when Sesko come on, it's ready for him to just, integrate himself into it and learn as he go through.
I think it's more not the missing, but the decision making. I think the decision making or the decision with reading the scene more or less. You have space, you could take a touch, you could get in a little more, take your shot instead of maybe trying to head it, chest it down. You know what I mean? I think it's those little decisions that might irritate fans a bit other than missing. All right, you miss, but they made the right decision. So I guess that is what he definitely has to clean up on. When to do what? That shot today, yes, you try to finish and it come off, but if you check it, you had so much time, you had so much space, to do the same thing. But that decision, when they made the decision, I think that is what being questioned for now, but again, with time, hopefully, that will improve as well.
Yeah. Let me just get some comments real quickly, guys. Darren said here, Mbumo have to eat some bench. To me, Ahmad don't get tired and contributes a lot defensively. Sesko in form needs to find a way to start him right through. With Sesko chance, he was caught in two minds. All right. All right, I think this is Ethan Flynn. Thanks for joining. Saying, what a great win for United. All right, what a great win. Go on United. All right, thanks for your comment, bro. Simeon saying here, not the biggest Sesko fan. All right, he's saying here, Phil is right, but Sesko has that speed and height. All right, enough skill. The wait for full potential, as Phil say. Can we wait for the full potential? All right. And finally, saying here, Sesko was passing badly. All right. Yeah. So next point of it. All right. This season has turned out to be Casemiro's farewell tour. Right?
Let's leave it that way. Let's leave it that way.
Well, let me put it like this. If you were in charge, would you approach Casemiro to extend his stay at the end of the season? Why yes, why no?
Nah, Casemiro's playing well because he knows he's leaving at the end of the season. I think that's it. And also it's a World Cup year as well, too, right? We have been begging for a more not fluent, but I would say a midfielder that's a bit more dynamic, right? When we lose the ball, we need the midfielders to be getting back. And at the end of the day, we need somebody who's young, versatile, full of energy, right? And this is not me bashing Casemiro, because some people will say, "Oh, if we get to the Champions League, well, when we get to the Champions League the next season, we're going to need somebody there with experience and what's not." At the end of the day, that is true to some extent, but whoever manager brings us, whoever is the manager for next season is going to have that Champions League experience already. 1, 2. These guys are professionals, right? Some of these guys have played at the highest level, whether it be the World Cup. Some have played in the Champions League already, right? So they already know what it's like to play in the Champions League. Us losing Casemiro for the Champions League come next season is not the biggest loss in the world, right? Does he bring Champions League experience? Yes, he does. Five Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. 5 or 3? Yeah, 5 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, right? So at the end of the day, Casemiro, Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the goals. Thanks for the celebration. By the end of the season, definitely have to move on, right? I am all in for about 3 or 4 midfielders that can make a difference for us next season, right? Are we going to miss the headers from Casemiro? Sure, right? But I don't want that to be our only source of goals. Not saying it is, but I want another person to shock us come next season when it comes to us heading in goals. Let's put it that way, right? But yeah, that's just my thoughts. No, I know some people have told me they would keep Casemiro for another season, but he will have to hold some. He will have to come off the bench, right? I don't know, but I don't know. I'm quite curious to hear what other people's thoughts are.
Yeah, go through, fellas.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go next one.
Yeah. Them Brazilians, and then you see that World Cup. Them fellas don't play with that World Cup. That World Cup that is what it does live for. Casemiro want to ensure his bags for the World Cup packed, and he is starting for Brazil in the middle of the pack. Right? And he is doing all what he have to do to ensure that happens. You see, next season, you see all the performances we see now, we're not going to see it. We are not going to see it. Yes, right now he has the bargaining power where he could say, if right now he on 3 how much, he could say, yeah, what, pay me 500 and I go sit on the bench too. And as a Brazilian, he will do that. Pay me 500 next season, I don't play the World Cup. Maybe we will win the World Cup, I go breeze out. I mean, I know he's a professional, it may not be like that, but I know he want to be sent for Brazil in that World Cup. World Cup is very close. And next season, he looking to make big money somewhere else. Right? And with that in mind, Casemiro, thank you. You know what I mean? I love, you know what I mean? As Phil would have put it, I like that. You know what I mean? But, sayonara. But I really, really, really enjoy the this swan song finale of Casemiro. I really, really enjoy it. I think this is the Casemiro that I would have seen and enjoyed in the first season when he came to United, which I find he was real good. Reminiscent to me. I guess the affinity I had for him was similar to what I had for Paul Scholes, right? The style's different, but the quality of the football in the midfield similar. So I enjoyed it this season, to be honest. But I think definitely, this should be his last season at United.
All right. We have two against. Crystal, let me hear you.
No, well, first of all, if we make champion, we're talking realistically here, right? We're first saying makes sense, but are we going to get 4 midfielders coming summer? I don't think so. And the next thing about it to Casemiro, if we get Champions League, his salary going to increase, right? So I don't even think they're going to do that either. So, but what I want them to say, yes, because if you look at the game today, Casemiro broke up that play real plenty time. People talk about the goal, but if you look at all the goals scored today, Casemiro was the one who passed the ball to Bruno. Even the ball to Cunha, it was a very good ball to Cunha. With Cunha touch, it be the man, and Cunha put in the cross, and then the defender blocking and Sesko. So he also created the chances. He didn't get the assist. Bruno got the assist, but he was in the build-up to the goals now. And the thing is, he's very good on set pieces. I think he scored the most goals from set pieces this season. And I was watching, I think it was the post match where he said he talked to Bruno in the first half, and he told him he gonna make a darting run to the post, and Bruno put the ball there and he scored now. We going to miss that kind of thing, because when you look at it, right, Arsenal is winning the Premier League because that is a secret weapon. Sometimes a team had to break down.
There's a secret again, Tristan. Tristan, that everybody know that a go-to tactic.
But that's what I'm saying. So Casemiro have came in clutch for us plenty times this season. But my whole take on it is, I think if they had brought in a midfielder this season and you blend him with Casemiro, that'd be good. But you basically, if Casemiro leave and you bring in a new midfielder and he not having a good season or something like that, it go be kind of. I don't know how to say it, but I think we're supposed to bring in a midfielder to be there. So when Casemiro leave, it don't have that gap now. You're literally bringing somebody new into the team, a new player. You don't know how they're going to play and stuff like that now.
I think based on that, why it's important to try a player from the Premier League who understand the Premier League. You know,
Exactly, and all the names that are in my mind right now are Premier League proven.
The link players are proven.
Yeah.
No, but let me be real here, right? The link with Tonali, Newcastle going to ask for real money. Are we going to get him? I don't know. Elliott, plenty money. Are we going to get him? We're not sure because Man City and him. You're looking at Wharton, another brilliant player. He's going to be expensive. What I say, we need at least focus. Ugarte is going to be leaving too, but I don't think we're going to be able to get 4 midfielders if we're going after one of these fellas. Because
why we need 4 midfielders?
No, but
what I'm
saying, right, is who say we can't get 4 if we need 4? We get 3 strikers last window, and each of them cost over $17 million. So I don't agree that we can't get 4 if we want 4. Obviously, we're not gonna get all 4 that's on the first choice list. We're not gonna get Tonali, Wharton, Anderson, and whoever the next player is. We're not gonna do that. Chances are we might get 2, and then another 2. So we could very well get 4 if we're focusing on the midfield next season, because we got 3 last season, 3 strikers, because we were focusing on revamping the striking area. You talk about Casemiro leaving, that is how much money off the wage bill. We talk about Ugarte going, you might get about 30 million for Ugarte. You know what I'm saying?
Mount are leave too.
Well, wherever, right? But the point is,
Mount can leave, Xerxes can leave as well too.
No, but the point is, I don't see why we can't get 4 midfielders. I think it's very, very possible. We prove that we could spend 70+ million for 1 player and get 3. So why we can't get 4? You know? But my thing on Casemiro, I honestly think Casemiro is leaving because of money, as Nico said. Right? If Casemiro, like Maguire, was willing to accept a lower wage, then we would not be having this conversation. You understand? And Casemiro could have been part of the team going forward. Right? So for Casemiro to stay, he had to be getting his same money or even a bumper. Plus, you're talking about Champions League addition. You understand? And I do also agree that something about World Cup, this caused them fellas to play like demons. You understand what I'm saying? So after our World Cup, we're going to be regretting we get Casemiro more money. We're going to be regretting. You understand? We keep him.
No, but if he agreed to a lower FIFA a year, I don't mind keeping him.
No, but what I'm saying is, you see, that he headed his career more or less, you know. So he looking for a payday. That is why he's not going to accept no small money like Maguire. He's not going to accept that. And watch me, what he doing now, you understand? His performances now almost securing that 500K for the next 2 years. But it ain't going to be at Man United because Ineos not paying that kind of wage. Just sorry.
Now, but I agree with you, right? But why saying, like, Casemiro, you can see he passion, like when he score any celebration, how he point at the badge, like he feel loved at United more than what he was feeling. I sure if you ask Casemiro now, he wins so much things at Real Madrid and he would tell you he enjoy playing for United.
PR, Christian, PR. He know you
PR. When he do so, he telling Ancelotti, watch what I doing for United. You might be working for Brazil. You might be working for Brazil.
Nah. Yeah, you had to watch the man tackle something. Why Casemiro is a player when he playing, he full 100.
Well, I in a Brazilian national team.
So my thing is
he in that team regardless, Nico. He in that team regardless.
No, we say not no. Let me
no, hey, that was Ancelotti boy, and Ancelotti didn't want them to leave Real Madrid,
Hey, the pressure playing and coaching for Brazil is different. You know? If it was another player who lighten up, Ancelotti can play like Casemiro playing Casemiro, you know? The guy that he quick, you know? Them Brazilian, them are not, and he's Italian too. Nah, they ain't going to that. I
Yeah,
tell you,
men winning World Cup and lost in the walk, you know.
I tell Brazil different. Brazil different. There's a religion over there. That's a serious thing. Them don't play with that.
So
Phil, make a point?
here's the thing, right? Because like I know, Christian, what you're saying is it's not wrong, but it sounds a bit scared and pragmatic. Where you're saying that if we had to bring in a new midfielder or a new player, we never know what they're going to do, right? But that's not the approach we should take, right? Because we're Manchester United, one, and two, we are looking to chase down the likes of City and Arsenal, Liverpool to some extent, who have been above us in terms of like chemistry and football and pedigree over the last 10 years, right? So you got to take that risk. At the end of the day, a lot of people would rather bring in a proven player, and I would say about 80 to 90% it would work out. And that's what we got to do this summer. At the end of the day, we could easily keep Casemiro, or we could easily get the next Casemiro. That's how I see it, right? Watch.
I think, Phil, sorry to cut you, but I think Carrick answered the question real intelligently today. You know, he was saying he don't. You're right. He said, no disrespect to Casemiro, but perhaps we want to play a different way. You know, where the different qualities of a player will help us, you know, in different ways now, because we playing based on who we have. And we know these fellas are top players. So once you play them, you know, to their strengths, and that's what we was banging on for all the time, you will see the quality, right? But let's do, you know, watch this with blinders, thinking that it have nobody else could come and help us play a different way, you know, to challenge the top teams, as Phil was saying, you know? Yeah.
Correct.
No,
yeah.
but my I just say if they could have bring in somebody this season because they know there was going to renew Casemiro and stuff like that. Because look at Baleba. Baleba was so good last season. Look how he is today. Even this fella at Chelsea here wanted Reem Delap. If we had Gehi, you understand? So
like I said,
We praying for Hoyland, boy. We praying for Hoyland to come back.
no, but I just say it could ruin your season if they don't hit the ground running, because we want a challenge. Well, I say that I want a challenge for the title and stuff like that now. A man might come in and he mightn't have the best first season now, but if you had bring him in this season with Casemiro, he'd play and stuff like that. You're bringing in a man or Casemiro. So I say if you're bringing somebody and they form not good or they're playing well and they could have still probably rely on Casemiro. That is the point I make it. But he's not going to take a pay cut and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
But let me ask you a question. Has Casemiro ever had a bad game?
Yeah, everybody's had a bad game.
And I guess that's the question.
I mean, Casemiro right now is reliable. No doubt.
No, but if you look at the stats with Casemiro, we win percentage is greater when Casemiro starts or he on the pitch compared to when he's off.
No, but also don't forget, come next season, we're going to be back into 4 competitions, right? So having squad depth is going to play a crucial part, right? Now let's say, obviously Casemiro's leaving, but we bring in 2 or 3 midfielders, right? We're going to have to give those midfielders a chance in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. And we would like to see what they can do in those specific competitions, right? Where they can then prove themselves that, hey, I'm knocking on the door to start in the midfield for Manchester United. And that goes for the left back that I hope we sign come next season. Centre back, maybe, but I won't prioritize centre back right now. Right back, maybe, but I think definitely midfield is the position we should be gunning for
But-
on this
but-
transfer window.
But what I'm saying, right, is we talking as though the midfielders that we're gonna sign is academy players, right? When you look back at the last transfer window this summer, we bring in 3 forwards. Did them fellas did they need, strikers before to help them blood? No, them fellas
No,
came
you're
in,
right. Yeah,
and this is
I am
why. Right, and this is why we going after proven players. That is the direction that we're going in.
Agreed.
So that you do have that period of really blooding. Yes, we know they'll take time to adjust to the Man United pressure and stuff like that. But you're expecting, because these players will be proven, that they will settle a lot faster and that they'll be able to handle and adapt. Because remember, the issue is twofold. One, dealing with the pressure of being a Man United player, but also being able to cope with the intensity, the physicality, and the pace of the league. So being a proven player and one of the better ones at that, we know the second one already covered. So it's just ready to get them integrated into the team. And I think it will not require this big, we need to make sure games, and I don't think he'll be that, because that wasn't the case with Mbeumo and Cunha.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, taking a risk on a non-prem proven player is not the end of the world as well, too, right? There are some players in the last 20 years who came from a different league and just hit the ground running. Eden Hazard, Erling Haaland, Mohamed Salah, and the list goes on. Sergio Aguero, Yaya Toure, and the list goes on, right? But I can understand the direction where Ineos is taking in terms of, let's get a prem proven, maybe midfielders, and we go from there. They already know how the prem is played. They know the physicality. They've obviously been to each ground playing for their current club right now before they signed for Manchester United. So yeah, it's less of a risk, but money spent is always a risk, right? So
yeah.
No, but okay, you talk about the forwards there, right? But let me be real, we haven't seen the best from Cunha, we haven't seen the best from Mbeumo at United. And they are Premier League proven, because when you look at it, Mbeumo scored 20 Premier League goals last season. He have 9 this season, and the season already done. Cunha scored like 18 and he have 7. So when you look at our numbers, they didn't really hit the ground running. No, we just.
But I think we agree on that. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when they consider their contribution, they may not be scoring as much goals, right? But they're contributing to the team. They're helping us. They're making us better. If you take them
okay, they were better than the players we replaced them with. They were better than the players we had. I agree with that. But my point is, what I'm saying is, like, okay, say Casemiro come and the players we bring in, they're not too bad, right? But they taking time, and I want for us to be challenging for the title and stuff like that now. That's my point. So I think it would make more sense that you have somebody who play with the team, who know the team playing. So if the player come and they enjoy when they can also rely on playing Casemiro. Be honest, I'm saying.
Yeah, but you see, it don't make sense, having $300,000+ in wages sitting on the bench. That not making sense to anybody.
That's
what I'm saying. So
if you are taking a pay cut, I'd keep him. And that's
what I'm saying. The reason why he going is because he didn't take a pay cut.
Correct.
Maguire willing to take a pay cut, and that's why he's staying. So either how you watch it, Kristen, the attackers that we purchased have improved the team. You understand? Because we're sitting in third place now, as opposed to where we will before without them. Regardless of the fact that they would have scored 20, because the teams they play for, Cunha scored 20 something goals or how much ever, but they finish where they finish in the league. So it's not always. I know the goal metric is a very important one, but it's not always the one I tell you look at.
Something also consideration. Cunha and Mbeumo were the main guys at their team as well.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
You still see the full potential from them fellas. As in, I saw things.
Get him next season. You know.
No, that was it. So next season they're going to be ready. They will be even better now, boy. So that was it. Team will be going in a direction to challenge now, boy. Say don't want to.
Yeah, no problems. Let me just get some comments on Lyrics Rapid, guys. All right. Jerome on the inside. Jerome, you're late, boy. He's saying good bounce back from the last match. All right. First half was like last match, but second half we wake up. Should have been 4-1 or 2 with the last play where Villa attackers tackle each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was.
Kurt on the inside. Good night. Kurt, you're late, boy. You know, he's saying, all right, apology accepted, right? So, guys, we just want to look at Bournemouth. We have Bournemouth on Friday. You know, that'll be away, so we're traveling. Any changes at all to the team against Bournemouth? You know, looking at how Bournemouth playing with you now, say, well, you know what, I feel I start in Mars. Or if Martinez is available, I feel Martinez walking back in the team. Or Sesko dropping on Bumo. Thoughts?
What is Martinez's problem?
Calf. It's a calf injury, but I think he's supposed to be close. Just like Billy.
But if we're being real, I think he's one of the players that leave too now, as good as he is.
Nah, come on, Christian, relax.
As good as he is, he's not available. He not no.
Relax. Come on, Christian. You want to sell the whole team and then
if Martinez was in that team against Newcastle, we never lost again.
Martinez is amazing, but he not available. Like if you look the first season, the second season, third, we can't go into our fourth season and he like this. No, that can't be. It can't be.
Long Martinez within his contract, but I keeping him. Martinez is real quality. So as Remus said, if it is, we had to make a change and Martinez fit, I bring back Martinez, you know, because I think he's so solid. You know, I think that would be my only change. Euro has stepped in and I think his confidence has improved the last couple of games. I think he's looking way more composed on the ball. Feeling I seen less rushed with his passing as well. So I think he has improved with the games. However, if Martinez is back and starting Martinez and starting the rest of the team as is.
I would
Martinez coming in over Euro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say the same team. I wouldn't put if Martinez fully fit, but I don't think he fully fit. So probably the game after, I think you play Euro and you bring on Martinez second half, and once he there, you start him the game after.
Yeah. I was trying to look at the result that Bournemouth got this weekend. It was a 0-0 versus Burnley. And I going with the same exact starting lineup. If Martinez does make the bench, I would say bring on Martinez around like the 60th or 70th minute, because he does add some quality not only in the defense but also in the passing out of the football as well too, right? He's actually one football I don't get nervous with when we have the football, right? We see how many opposition players press Martinez with the football, and he still has it he still has it 20 seconds later, right? So he's actually one player that I'm like, okay, well, you can press him, but you're not going to get the ball from him, right? So, and I think, in my opinion, Martinez could be the right guy to tutor Aiden Heaven, right? There are some similarities there with Aiden Heaven that I see. Well, there's some similarities in Martinez that I see in Aiden Heaven as well too, right? So I would definitely like to see Martinez stay for sure, and not only contribute on the football field, but also off the field in terms of tutoring these guys as well too, right? So
yeah. I don't think I can make any changes. It's amazing, guys, that Maguire picked Shaw, but the man doing well. We can't fight that. Kurt saying here we wanted to sell Shaw too, but a fit Shaw is very reliable.
Shaw could get sold at any season. Shaw is
by
next one.
far.
He's our next one looking for World Cup. He's our next one. Watch me. the game before Newcastle, I think it was, Shaw get challenged and come off the pitch, right? And the next game, Shaw back starting.
Remember Shaw remember Shaw last best season? The season we
Until you rose. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't forget. We don't forget.
Shaw didn't play. That was the only the last Euro. Shaw was injured and they still carry him and he played in the finals. That was the only game he played. That's the only competition. No. Yeah. That's the only competition. That's the only time. I got send you a dream. I tell you that's the only every other competition before that he played it, but the last Euro, go back and check. Shaw only played one game in that Euro. They carry him, but he was injured.
And then he played the final.
Yeah, they bring him on in the final.
That's when they play. That's the one when they play Italy in the final.
No, Spain. And
no, the one I talking about is when Italy they play.
He played that whole season for United and he played all the games.
Right,
yeah, he scored the final landing. He scored the final landing in that one.
And then he get injured the season after and he didn't.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about.
There's when Jude and the other idiots missed the penalty, right?
No,
not Jude. Sancho, Rashford,
and
Saka. Yeah.
Well, that's the one I was talking about, Kristen. That's the one I was talking about.
If we being real, whenever Shaw have a good season, right, or he fully fit, we don't come out of the top 3, eh?
Well, that's not no. We will get somebody better.
What's Lewis Hall?
Yeah.
For sure.
Ever since Kuna is such a top talent, he can have little or no effect during the game, but when a big chance comes his way, he will be clinical to bring home the 3 points. Example versus Arsenal and today. All I mean, like I hear that not effective, but let me be effective throughout the game now, please. Right? Good thing you haven't can't get sweat, but it's real unfortunate. It's real unfortunate, but you don't really tamper with your back line now, but you know, unless it's Amorim, right? But you need that consistency. You need that. It's unfortunate. It's real unfortunate, you know. Maguire really impressed me. I ain't gonna lie. For a player to get all that stick and come back, yeah, Maguire, right? Yeah, you know. Anyway, so fellas, I think we have come to the end of the pod. All right. Friday again. All right. We really hope we could keep the wins coming, keep the momentum, the upward movement. You know, our destiny is in our hands, and as the games go by, it's looking more and more likely that we will be in the Champions League next season. You know, I know Nico mentioned in the earlier part of the pod that, you know, for some people it might be good that, you know, Man United not playing as regular as the other teams. But I look forward to Man United games, you know. And with us playing as well as we are, you know, we wait more than less now, you know. So waiting every 10 days, every 5 days, while other teams playing every 3 days, it'll be hard, you know. So I'm hoping that next season we have real football to watch. We have real pods to come and discuss Man United matters on, so that, you know, we could, you know, and that's the pods wouldn't be therapy sessions in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Amen.
You know,
so I guess he come down his own, eh? You know, I mean, 8 games to go.
Yeah,
you know, 8 more games to go in the season.
Yeah, it's my final thoughts before you end the pod. It's amazing what happens when you play Bruno and Kobe in their rightful positions. Let's just put it that way.
No, but the next time we play is in April, eh?
Well, we play on Friday, and then after Friday, yeah. Boy, we have a pause. we have a pause, like a summer break.
Between now and next weekend, that could be a Leverkusen fan. Let's put it that way. So,
what's that? Pep is that fraud and boy. Pep gonna make this side win the freaking Premier League, you know.
You have a comment here. Thanks for joining, Mojo. He's in customer to stay. You reel back on the pod, and we had a conversation on that, right?
That the trigger on the pod and carry back a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, fellas, it was nice. Phil, Kristen, and Nick, it's always good to hire when you're back on the thing, man. You know. but we know how the schedulers be. So we're gonna be here again on Friday, guys, to review the Bournemouth game. But we hope that them fellas could continue, and we will come back here talking about another 3 points in the bag and 7 more to go. So guys, thanks for the likes, thanks for the shares. Don't forget to subscribe on Facebook and YouTube if you haven't already. All in all United, guys. Have a good night. See you in the next one.
Good night.
Good night, fella.